and welcome everyone to episode 28 of Rime of the Frost Maiden. I'm Samson Paul. We've got the party here with us tonight. How is the party doing?
Wonderful.
Wunderbar.
Muy bueno.
Everyone got their gears recharged after a hiatus of a week.
Oh yeah.
I'd say so.
Ready to play some D&D. If you guys are new here, we go live every Wednesday around 7 Central-ish. A little bit late starting today, but that's all right. Welcome everyone first and foremost, and if you're watching and catching up on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, get notified every time that we have a video go up live. If you are new here and you haven't already, there is a great place on Facebook that we collectively post all of our D&D memes. It's called The Tavern. And Chris, do you want to plug The Tavern real quick?
Yeah, of course, the Tavern is a Facebook community. Facebook is garbage. We make it a little bit better. Honestly, you can share memes. We try and hold contests. We share breaking news whenever we can, get news that's to break, such as the new changes to Drow, which are dope and took entirely too long. Now do Orcs, Wizard. It's time to do Orcs. It's time to fix Orcs, Wizards. It is time to fix Orcs. Drow are great. It's fucking dope. But the Tavern, facebook.com/group/the Tavern D20. We're a fun little community with lots of tips. We have a Discord that a lot of people have joined. We're still not doing much with it. We have a fitness group, Dungeons and Deadlifts. Not much going on there either, but come on, be the change you want to see in the world. Come on and join us, and yeah, let's have fun.
Dungeons and Deadlifts?
Yeah, Dungeons and Deadlifts. It's our fitness group that every 3 months someone posts in.
That's a great name. The Dungeons and Why not? But wait, why not Dungeons and Dumbbells?
Probably could have done that, but I had Joe Manganiello on the brain when I made the group, and that dude can deadlift.
Fair. Yes, he can. Man, he can deadlift.
Plus, coming from the wrestling world, everyone is all about fucking deadlifting there.
True. You got to be able to pick 600 pounds off the canvas there. In any case, we're glad everyone's here with us. We're excited to get started. And is there anything else anyone wants to plug social media-wise? At Samson Paul on all social media network. No matter what it is, I got that. Take it away, guys. Anyone?
Yeah, actually, Andy and I have and Clara have a little something to plug. For our local listeners or anybody who wants to travel out of town, we are coming back to the theater at Nathan P. Murphy's at 7:30 and 9:30 this Friday night, one night only, to do Grave Tales, our locally written horror show.
Yeah.
In the same vein as Black Mirror, Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, sort of. It's a good time, and in fact, a number of people that are in here have been a part of the show at some point in time, and hopefully we'll do some future shows and stuff together. But yeah, we're coming back, and we would love to see you in our audience.
And that is Nathan P. Murphy's in Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, very good.
I got
Follow them.
one.
Okay, go for it.
My TikTok, at that drunk Cajun. I make fun of stuff for D&D sometimes in the form of song with poorly played ukulele, and it's lots of fun. Follow me if you want.
That does sound fun.
My favorite is when you write a song for people who are late on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where's
I
the
do
song
do
for
that.
everybody here tonight?
Look,
Oh.
if I had to write a song for everyone who is late in our campaign, I'd have to write one for Billy every week, and I just don't have that much creative genius.
Hey. Don't sell yourself short.
Consider the following. Write one song, but re-upload it every week.
There you go.
Make it like one of those fun Twitter accounts, like the one of, what's his name? The dude who plays James Bond, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend." It retweets the same thing every Friday.
Billy's song again.
Oh, all right. Well, Miranda, you should take that into account. And with no further ado, we'll get into the recap of last week. Actually, last week nothing happened. The week before last. You guys all made it to Bryn Shander. You split up to do some shopping and stuff around town. I believe there was an interdimensional rift because 2 bags of holdings were put into another, split time and everything like that, and created maybe an alternate timeline. Lysander had figured out that he is not in where he needs to be. He is about 1,300 years out of time or so. And let's see. Rava Hess from a previous offline campaign made an appearance and met the party. Let's see. What else happened 2 weeks ago? Because I've slept since then. Help me out, guys. You guys are there to...
Stuff.
Yeah, you bought some stuff. I believe a cloak of elvenkind was purchased, and then a sentient... What was it, armor? Sentient armor? Or something that had some sort of voice coming out of it?
Yes,
That
a sentient
lovely
armor
individual.
that we then traded the mystery box.
That's right, that's right. Let's see... What else?
But we are in wherever we're at to help with the political thingy.
Yes, the speakers, the meeting of the 10 town speakers is happening at some point this afternoon on this day. With Lysander, the Warforged, getting the news that he is out of his time, proceeded to head to the bar and just get plastered. And we will pick up inside of the tavern with everyone kind of at the table, getting a little bit of food and drink to really take in the day, as it was quite eventful. Zizix in particular having a little bit of a dilemma ongoing with actually realizing that he may be out of time, or in a timeline rather, and Lysander, of course, being out of his linear time. So,
as I recall, Zizix was also a dick.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I think that is accurate. He was being a dick, but neither here nor there. You guys can hash that out in your individual talks. But we'll drop into the Northlook Tavern in Bryn Shander, where there's a number of individuals there, patrons drinking and eating, and seems to be a mildly busy evening as you guys are gathered around a table. Lysander obviously drunk, and you were told by Olivessa that you would be meeting her there at that tavern sometime this evening before joining her at the Council of the Town Speakers. So, as everyone sips on their fire mead and or fire water and drinks away and enjoying the night, what would everyone like to do? Silas, are you going to try and perform tonight, or what was your plan?
Well, I suppose if I have a little time before our meeting, I'll try and strum a little something. My mood's a little sour, but maybe I can get something out there.
Alright. Go ahead and make a performance check.
That won't stop me. 23.
There you go. You go on and start strumming on your lute and start pulling out some tunes, and you seem to be winning the favor of the crowd overall. And Silas has gotten up from the table to start performing with the crowd, or for the crowd, and the rest of you at the table. What are you guys doing?
Sulking.
Andy's
Drinking.
just nursing her drink because she's still agitated after last week's conversation.
DM, real quick, I believe also Rabahesh looked like someone in a painting. I think that's something
Yes.
to point out. All right.
Yes,
We did
Ravahes
talk about that briefly, I think.
at
You
the
did, yeah.
end of the campaign, or at the end of the session, yes. Ravahes does resemble the person that is in the painting in this bar, part of the Order of the North, as they were called.
Oh, that means Andy's still sitting with Ravahas. Okay, now I remember where she was. Okay, cool. Yeah, she's just gonna hang out and drink with him then.
All right.
Vega will be watching Lysander sulk.
Just intently, with concern, or for amusement?
For amusement. No, not intently, but just, like
That'd be
chilling with him, making sure he's all right. Or as all right as he can be,
What about you, Lek?
No, I don't particularly want to stay around such sadness. I'm going to go out on the floor and dance. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Are you going to be kind of like a barker for Silas's performances in the tavern and try to get people hyped and excited, kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Give
Hell
me
yeah,
a
Lek,
performance
throw it
check.
back.
Give me a performance check for that.
15.
15. He's throwing it back. Let's see. You do so well that 3 or 4 people actually get up and start creating a little bit of a dance floor with you, and you got a little dance perimeter going on.
Yeah.
And
Now everyone disrespect your surroundings.
all right. What about, let's see, Ravahess and then Eclipse and Carcass? What are you guys doing?
Oh, fuck it, I'm gonna go dance too.
Yes.
Yeah, Rava Hess would be content to silently sit with Andy in case she had any additional questions for him. And Carcass heard something about food.
Yeah, so you look around and you see a few crag cat steaks being served to some people around there.
Yeah, I'll walk by their tables and eat those.
Excuse me, that was mine.
Is this within vision of Andy?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'll replace that for you. She's gonna say, and kind of flag the bartender so she can replace people's food. And she's gonna say, Carcass, I'll order you your own.
Oh, it's okay. I got their steaks now.
You're not hungry anymore?
Well, I am eating other people's food first. So if you give me a minute, I will come and sit with you, and you can give Carcass more food.
Okay, but you shouldn't eat other people's food. If you're hungry, just tell me and I'll get you food, okay?
Oh,
Other people don't like that.
okay. But that's okay, because Carcass likes it.
Oh, but other people might get angry with Carcass. So just let me know and I'll get you food, okay?
That is okay. Carcass can kill them.
Andy's gonna look apologetically at the people that he took steaks from and say, I'll get you new plates. And she'll go to the bartender and say, can you bring them new food? My friend is, well, he gets confused. I'll pay for it.
And the bartender looks at you and he says, well, that's extremely rude. Did you apologize already?
I did. I did to them, yes.
Just please make sure he doesn't steal. If he does it again, we're gonna have to kick him out.
Right, I understand. I'll keep an eye on him. And she'll, and I'll take 2 as well. Actually, bring 4 for my table and I'll pay for those 2. So she's gonna get 1 for herself, Ravahess, and then 2 for Carcass.
We'll call that 9 gold.
All right, and she'll give him 10.
I appreciate the tip.
Of course. Thank you for understanding.
And the bartender goes back and starts to get this food prepared for everyone, and you start to... What do? Are you leading Carcass back to the table, or...?
Yeah, she's gonna lead him to the table to sit. You'll get 2 more coming out shortly, Carcass.
Oh, okay, but the food always tastes better when it is someone else's.
Well, I've ordered 3 for myself, so if you want to take some of mine, you can.
Okay, I will eat your food.
Okay.
And about 5 minutes before they get you guys some food out right to you, and Andy has 3 plates of crag cat steak in front of her, and Carcass, you just have the one.
Well, Andy, she'll give 1 to Ravahes, and then put 3 in front of herself,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and then kind of watch Carcass.
Yes, I will start eating off of everyone's plates.
And as Carcass reaches over to Ravahes's plate,
Oh, my friend, that is quite all right. You may have anything that you desire.
Andy looks over at Ravahes kind of gratefully and says, "You're welcome to share mine."
Oh, it's quite all right. As you get older, you don't have quite the appetite you once did.
I see. Well, thank you.
and as the bartender delivers all the food to the people that have had their food stolen and to you guys, the bartender says, a round of drinks for anyone except for Metal Man there. It looks like I need to cut you off, sir.
Excuse me?
Oh shit.
Well, if you insist, I don't know how, you feel your inebriation from the libations. If you would like to continue, it was just my initial judgment that suggested perhaps you had enough.
You're getting paid, aren't you?
It is, yes, I am getting paid, yes.
Am I being unruly? Am I causing a problem?
No, I would not say that you are causing a problem or anything of that nature, but it just seems, well, it's in my personal philosophy that you drink to feel better, when you're feeling good, not when you're sad, and even though your metal frame seems to hide those emotions, your body language speaks volumes, sir.
Hey, friend.
You broke up a little bit, what'd you say?
What is your name, friend?
You can call me Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. Thaddeus, I'm gonna level with you. I've had a very long and difficult day. Let me ask you something.
I'm all ears.
I hope he's an elf.
I heard that. He is not an elf.
Still pushing the button. If you had to make a very major life decision in such a short amount of time, and part of that life decision was to be put into the metal body that you see before you for the rest of your remaining days, and they put you in a tube to transfer your life force into said body. And then you woke up dumped in the middle of some frozen valley, and then after a few months of getting used to and getting the lay of the land, you found out that you're 1,300 years from the time you went into the tube. What would you do?
Well, and he kind of looks down at his feet, and he looks back at you with his fingers kind of caressing his chin. He says, That would make you as old as some deities. Perhaps you would maybe devote your life to one of them. If you are completely out of place in time with no loved ones around you that you can relate to and in the company of what I assume to be friends, maybe worship is the route you would like to take for your remaining days and find guidance among them.
I'm not asking you what you think I should do. I'm asking you what you would do. I'm telling you right now, I just learned this news maybe a couple hours ago. I'm having an existential crisis, so with all due respect to you and your business that I am patronizing, please give me a fucking break. I slam my head down on the table with a loud metallic thunk.
And he says, I understand. I would not be able to put myself in your shoes to make such a decision so quickly. But I guess I'll get you another drink. Anybody else? As Thaddeus looks amongst the table.
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right. What about you, Zizix?
Zizix is going to say, "Sir, do you have milk?"
I think we do actually have some cragcat milk.
Would you mind making some chocolate milk for me? And I'll pull out a chocolate bar that Harry the trader traded him for.
Yeah. And he was about to say that he did not have any chocolate, but his eyes kind of grow wide as you pull that chocolate bar out from your bag. And he says, "Oh, of course. With this much chocolate, I could probably make a couple of pitchers worth. Perhaps I can buy that chocolate from you."
Oh no. No, it's not for sale.
So would you like all of this chocolate condensed down into one singular drink?
Maybe not, because, milk goes bad. How much do you need for just one?
Probably, I would say about a quarter of that.
Okay. And Zizix will break off a quarter of it and hand it over to him.
And he says, "All right, I will be right back with some heated milk and melt this thing down for you. It'll be a little warm, so if you'd like me to put ice in it, we have plenty of that around here."
Oh no, warm is just fine.
And any other drink orders before he leaves the table? I take that as a no. So then he takes note and goes back, and just a few minutes later he comes back with your drinks, and Zizix, no chocolate milk just yet, still melting down and being made at the moment. In the meantime, Silas is still performing on stage. Eclipse is still on screen. Eclipse and Lek are leading the dance party, and your chocolate milk gets delivered shortly thereafter. And it's a nice dark brown. It looks very rich.
And Zizix is just gonna lick his lips so hard and just dive right in.
All right. So, Lysander, you have another drink in front of you. As you raise your head up from the table, you see another firewater sitting across from you.
Oh, yummy. I'll take it and just
sip it gingerly, just stare into it.
Andy's gonna speak up to Ravaheth and say, I'm sorry about all that unpleasantness earlier. I don't suppose your group ever had any of that, and she's gonna glance at the picture.
No such things as unpleasantness. I believe we were all quite good friends in our own way.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes, except for my dear friend Nacho.
Ah. Which one's he?
Oh, it may not be important in case you ever come across him.
Ah, I see.
Yes, he is fun.
Take a glance at the painting, and you notice a hardy band of adventurers, and then one person just kind of sticks out who oddly looks like Prince portrayed by Dave Chappelle.
Well, we sure appreciate everything you all did.
Oh, I assure you, I played a minor part in what happened.
I'm sure you're being modest.
No, unfortunately, I got a little lost, as I am now, and I missed a great deal of things.
Well, I do hope you find your way back.
Oh, I am always quite confident that I will.
So, about an hour goes by, and Silas, go ahead and roll a D8 and a D100.
The D100 is 69. Nice.
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 And the D8 is 4.
Okay.
Okay.
You have been awarded 469 silver. A lot of silver coming out of the patrons tonight. And those on the dance floor seem to be the biggest contributors with their placing their tips and asking for a particular song, which you either accepted or denied. But
I'm in a friendly mood. I would have accepted. I used to play here for 2 years, so.
yeah. So you definitely made a modest amount of coin tonight.
Did anybody request Freebird?
I request Wonderwall.
It's free rock, all right. ROC.
2 days gonna be the day where they're gonna 2 days gonna be the day where they're gonna 2 days gonna be the day where they're gonna 2 days gonna be the day.
Which reminds me, it's 3 days until the 7 days are up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll go to 7 days. Just real quick under my breath. No clue if it even works from this distance, but, can't be too sure.
Oh, we got a guy asking if I want to be famous. We're banning that guy. Alright. So, after that hour, and Silas reaps in all of his wealth from his takings from his bard playing and instrument playing tonight, Olivessa wanders her way in to the bar, and she's looking around, and she meets eyes with Carcass and scurries over to the table. She says, all right, we've got about 30 minutes until the meeting is gonna take place. Are you guys ready?
Of course.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm as ready as we can be, but we might want to have the Tin Man sit this one out.
Oh? And what's wrong with Lysander?
He's had a good bit to drink.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Andy just kind of looks at Lysander and then looks right back at Olivessa and kind of raises her eyebrows like, see.
I did
Yes.
not know that you could get drunk. That's That's an amazing thing.
It is, isn't it? Because up until like a little bit ago, I didn't know I could either. I haven't been drunk since the year 205.
Yes. And she'll kind of like squint and not really comprehend exactly what you're saying and look to the rest of the party and saying, yeah, he's really drunk. You must not know the year. But
No, he said what he said. Don't worry about it.
We can unpack that later. Maybe once we get back to our room.
I see.
Sit outside. He can wait. He doesn't have to come.
Truth be told, they've had a bit of an identity crisis and now they think they're Clint Eastwood.
That's pretty good.
Well, in any case, I was going to buy a round and get a little
take
bit
it.
of liquid courage. But are you?
No.
Take it.
You're done.
Andy kind of looks at Eclipse like your funeral kitty.
No more alcohol. Okay.
No.
He's not going to the meeting. Let him have it.
No, he's gonna sit his happy ass here and drink forever. He doesn't have to come.
Well, is there anyone that could come and substitute, perhaps?
Of course.
Any of the rest of us are willing to go. He just
Yes.
will
Oh
probably
yeah,
need to sit out.
absolutely.
But not Lysander, because he's a drunk.
And I don't recognize this man. Hello, my name is Olivessa and Tapur. And what is your name? As she motions to Ravahess.
Oh, it is my pleasure to meet you. I am Ravahess Manith, and this is my good friend Trevor.
Where's Trevor? I don't see him.
Oh, he is quite the scam. I apologize.
It's quite all right. Is Ravahess a friend of yours?
Yes.
Oh. Well, if we were to leave Lysander here, perhaps Ravahess could join us.
Andy will look at Ravahess.
Oh, if you would like me to join you, I would be most happy to accompany you.
He's a good man. He can take my place. I approve.
There's some sense in him.
Perhaps.
And for what it's
though,
worth, he would have also approved sober. So
That's fair.
That
and
makes me... Go ahead.
perhaps we should leave someone
you,
with
Vic.
Lysander there. He does not seem to be doing well.
Perhaps Carcass could look after them.
No
Is that okay
offense.
with you, Carcass?
Is that the best idea? I am afraid that the two of them might get into some trouble.
yeah, I'm afraid you're right.
Me too.
I can hang out with Lysander while you guys go to the meeting.
Because I don't want to, so.
Vega, I think you might actually be quite important, being that you have a bit more information about this area than I do. I've only spent 2 years in Bryn Shander, but I wasn't always paying attention.
I have information. I've been in the area.
Oh, wonderful. Adriana could assist. Then Vega, you're free to stay here, unless you wish to join us. I'm sure it will be lots of fun.
I'd like to, but I'm okay with staying with Lysander. If that's what needs to happen, that's absolutely fine.
And Olivessa looks to you, Vega, and she says, "But you are a very important member of the community of Goodmead, and I would very much appreciate if you were to come. Surely we can find someone to babysit Lysander."
I could always babysit the Tin Man if you think you could handle yourself without me.
You gave me quite a bit of coaching on the way over here, and I am in debt to you for that.
Well, I do love a good debate, and I love the political foray. That being said, like I said, if you think someone needs to stay here with them, I can be the one to do it.
Oh no, we can ask the bartender to keep an eye on him.
I mean, if someone must stay, I suppose I would be the most logical choice.
Yeah.
I really don't. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Andy.
Not Andy, but Andy.
Mirandy.
Or Andy.
Oh my god. Okay. Andy will say, I don't think Lysander would do anything, to hurt himself or others. I think asking the bartender is a perfectly fine way to go.
I don't need a babysitter. You all can. I'll make this easy on you all. Go on without me. I'll be here.
Do you need a room?
If I do, I know where to find one.
Okay.
But thank you.
All right.
In fact, I wouldn't mind to be alone for a little while.
Okay.
Perhaps if we... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we'll be back in a bit if you do need to talk.
Thank you.
If you'd like, we could try turning you on and off again. I could do a little dance, turn you on, and then we could have Carcass lift up his kilt, turn you off.
I don't have a response to that comment. But
I don't think anyone does.
That hit on multiple
Yeah.
levels.
Oh man.
above the table, that was really fucking funny.
But
Above table, thank you.
there we go. Well, and while you guys are discussing who's babysitting Lysander and the lack thereof, she orders another round of firewater for the table, and it's brought to everyone, and she says, well, to good luck and a hearty discussion for the betterment of the 10 towns.
Andy will raise her glass and drink.
Here, here.
Oh yeah.
Here, here indeed.
There.
I feel comforted.
I'll drink to that. Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
All right. And as everyone finishes off their firewater, Olivessa says, well, perhaps it's time we make our way. Are you all ready?
I am.
Ready as I'm going to be.
Let us be off.
On our way out the door, I would like to go to the bartender and say, hey, keep him coming for him as long as he needs, and I'll pay for it when I get back. Just wait until the cat's out of sight before you give him his next one.
And he acknowledges and says, all right, will do.
Thank you, friend.
That was how Vega went broke.
So, as Olivessa starts to lead you guys out, nightfall, or at least darkness, has fallen on Bryn Shander as you guys make your way towards the town-speaking hall in the center of town. Let me pull up this map here just to be sure. Yep. Town hall towards the middle of town. As you guys are walking along, and Olivessa has a stack of papers in her grasp that she had drawn up. As make your way towards town hall. It takes about 15-20 minutes to walk there. You guys find yourself in front of the large stone building that has very much a dwarven accent to it, like it was constructed by dwarves at some point, or commissioned by dwarves. There's a lot of light coming from inside. You can see through the windows. The main hearth, which seems to be about 15 foot long, is just emanating a ton of light from inside, and the door opens. And Olivessa speaks up to the guard and says, "Olivessa and Topor, good mead in my posse." And the guard looks to the party and says, "Well, you don't travel alone, I see. Well, I don't blame you for being so new. But you're not the only one with guards here, so you guys just stand there and look pretty. If you need to speak, consult your town speaker, and this will keep things a little bit expedited. Understood?"
Got it.
I am wonderful at looking pretty.
Oh yeah, me too.
So, you guys make your way inside. And inside of this room, there's quite a few dignitaries that you recognize. You see the individual from Easthaven. That was Dennis Whalen that you recognize. From Bremen, Zizix, you recognize Dorbelgruff Shaleskar, the town speaker there. You all recognize Trovis, the Dragonborn from Caer Konig. Let's see. And then the one that the guard had referred to previously, having quite a bit of security. There's about 7 people surrounding Nerith Maxildinar, the town speaker of Targos. And then there's a handful of other individuals that you don't recognize. And over off in the corner, you spot Duvessa Shane and Markham alongside her. And you count, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 town speakers total, including Olivessa. So, as you guys make your way in, Markham stands up and he says, the representative from Goodmead has arrived. May I be the first of this town to congratulate you on your victory in your run for mayor, for town speaker. We'll definitely benefit from any insights that you can provide in Goodmead. And Olivessa says, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I couldn't have done it without the help of these individuals here with me, and Markham and Duvessa. And they look over at you and they say, yes, this group has proven to be very beneficial to the 10 towns overall. And you see a few of the town speakers look in your direction, and a few of them kind of glance away quickly, and Trovis makes his way over and he says, well, if it isn't Andy, Eclipse, Carcass, Zizix, and Vega. I don't think that I've met the other 2 that are with you. Where's the metal man? Lysander.
Drunk.
Well.
He's a bit under the weather.
He'll be
recharging.
The guy that's talking to us right now, that's not the one that stole the soup thing, right?
No, that's the one that you guys found drunk in the tavern or buried into a snow mound inside of Kaer Konig. It was the Dragonborn that kept talking about his adventures as an adventurer
Oh
and
yeah,
never
yeah.
stopped.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
I
wino
remember
from
now.
up north. He was a lot of fun. I like this guy.
And Trovis says, well, I usually find myself neck deep in wine myself, but for these meetings I make an exception, and, I might be a little drunk left over from the night before, but that's quite all right.
I would love to discuss wine with you sometime. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name?
You can call me Trovis.
Trovis, a pleasure to meet you. Silas Nouvelle of Cormier.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sure you're having quite a hard time finding some good wine.
It has proven difficult, but the mead in good mead is as close as we can get right now.
Well, the name suits it, I'd say. And Trovis looks back and he says, well, we're about ready to gather around the table. If you would like to speak to anyone else, now's your time.
I think we can probably stow the reunions until after the meeting.
Well, tempers might flare, and you never know what's going to get brought up at these damn meetings. But, very well.
Could Silas quickly kind of do like a little once-over around the room and kind of see if he can overhear any strategy from people?
Yeah, so go ahead and make a perception check. And is there a group in particular that you would like to try to overhear?
No one in particular, unfortunately.
Okay. That's fine.
That's not very good. That's a 10. Can I use that thing that we talked about, if that's actually a thing earlier?
Yeah, it's actually a thing. Go ahead and use your DM inspiration.
That's not much better. It was a 10. All right.
Shame. Now roll a d6 and we'll figure out what you're listening to.
Three.
All right. So you wander over to an individual, and he's speaking to a couple of his entourage that has come with him, and he speaks of the travesty committed by Targos stealing the cauldron from us, and they're speaking very poorly of Targos, but you also catch wind of them being a little unsurprised at the lack of representation from a township called Caer Dineval. But that's all you can really gather with that 10.
Could I try to listen specifically to the people from Targos?
Yeah, you certainly can. How close would you like to get to them? They seem to be kind of hushed over into a very quieted speech.
I mean, I've got pretty big ears, so
True.
fairly close, but not like up in their grill or anything.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your perception.
$12.
So you don't hear Nerith speak at all, but the advisor next to him, it looks like some sort of cleric of sorts. He's speaking for the most of the time that you're trying to eavesdrop in, and he says something to the likes of, Targos won't play second fiddle anymore to Bryn Shander. We're large enough. We have just as much people, and now we have a more well-fed populace, which means a stronger army. We have the power of negotiation. And as you start to creep closer, a few of his entourage notice you coming over, and they strike a glare and kind of give another a nudge right next to him, and he also catches eyes, and he looks over at you and he says, "Can we help you, Elephant Man?"
Yeah, you got any peanuts?
No. I don't have any peanuts.
Andy smirks.
No. All right. Well, I guess I'll keep looking, and I'll just walk off.
Andy clearly doesn't care much for politics. She just kind of looks around and has kind of a bored expression on her face. But if she sees anyone that like she knows or is acquainted with her family, she will politely nod and shit. But she's mostly gonna stay by Olivessa.
Nobody that's really affiliated with your family. Maybe in passing by, like your family would have helped them out with a few issues, but no one strikes out to you as like someone that's become a family friend or anything like that.
Yeah, and she's just gonna stay behind Olivessa like a sort of bodyguard, I guess.
Okay.
Strange custom, the whole nod, then you shit your pants when you see someone you know. Hey.
What?
She said nod and shit, so the natural.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey man, commas are your friend.
I
just
missed
want
that
someone else to do it so the attention gets taken off of you, but it's not gonna happen.
I don't mind the attention.
Okay, poopy pants.
DM, what would I know about Caer Dineval, if anything?
Caer Dineval, you know that they're ruled by Krenok Seaver, but what you would know just as general knowledge around Bryn Shander, since this is the place where they have these meetings once a month, is that Caer Dineval's speaker has been quite ill for some time, for the better part of maybe a year now. He's been unable to make these meetings.
Would I be able to spread a rumor that the speaker of Caer Dineval has actually been buying a lot of salt lately?
Sure. You can, let's see.
Maybe deception.
Yeah, make a deception check. And then, if you have a targeted audience, you can do that, or if you're a general statement, you can also declare that as well.
I'd probably declare it generally in front of Targos, but loud enough that other folks might be able to hear.
Okay.
No, that's a natural one. Fuck.
And
but +9, it's a 10.
So you make your way over to Targos and you say something along the lines of, I've heard Caer Dineval has been buying slat lately. I mean, salt. They've been buying salt.
Fuck. I'm out of my game.
Uh,
These people have thrown off my groove.
It's been a while since you've been involved in a public forum.
I didn't go through my ritual. I didn't repeat my mantra on the way. This is terrible.
Anything else from the party? All right.
I think I might actually go try and find some peanuts now.
Okay. Go ahead and make a investigation check.
That's a nat 20. +2.
Unfortunately, you don't find any peanuts. But
Damn it.
you do see at the front door, there's a couple of large bowls of dried cranberries.
I see them or I smell them?
It would be both. You would follow your nose.
Okay. Well, if I actually see them, then I might go try and eat some. But if I just smell them, I'm going to assume that it's Lek.
Oh, true.
It's Lex calling card. He's here to kill everyone.
Super fair.
You would see it. You would
Not
see
to
a few
get
people
real.
going over to the bowl and grabbing some dried cranberries, and you'd take notice of them.
Oh yeah, I'll go eat some cranberries since there aren't any fucking peanuts. Racists.
Oh man. But after a little bit of a while, Markham says, "All right, we've given Caradinaval and Dugan's Hole enough time to make it. It seems they will be absent, which is par for the course. I don't think there's any concern there. But if the speakers would like to please join the table, and all onlookers, please take your time and help yourself to the cranberries and take a listen and assist your speaker in any way that they may need to remember things. Please be cordial during these discussions. Things can get heated from time to time. We are all adults here, and we will solve these matters diplomatically." And the bodyguards break from their leaders, and all the leaders stand post at the table, and they go through and give a brief introduction. So, above table, at this point, as these discussions are happening, would you guys like a brief overview, or would you prefer me to go in depth with each issue that they are providing?
I'm fine with overview.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I have a question though.
Sure.
Are weapons allowed in here? Like, do the people in here have weapons, or is it like one of those?
Everybody's armed.
Okay, cool. That seems like a poor choice in hindsight. But okay, cool. Good to know. I'll bear that in mind.
I'm fine either way. In depth or the overview. Either one works for me.
The
All right.
eyes have it.
Overview. So, the first issue that comes to mind that gets discussed amongst the table is the food shortages. They have not reported any food shortages in Targos for obvious reasons, but the towns of Bremen, Karakonig, Lonely Wood, and it's been reported that Caradinaval has also had these issues. So they bring those up as issues. There is some concern that all of the food has been bought up by Targos. So they are like, as food caravans come in through town, they buy everything. And that's putting a lot of strain on the continuous trade routes that usually those caravans go through. The next item that they start to talk about is the good mead issue, with the lack of mead going around, and it actually has been a little bit of an issue of helping people keep warm, and people have been burning more wood instead of getting a little drunk and having that warm feeling inside and being able to make do with less fire and communing in the tavern themselves. Let's see. Karakonig puts out a formal request for everyone to return their sled dogs that they rent out, because it's been a real problem trying to keep their canines in stock. And it's been halting transportation as well, even to their far reaches, and hurting their economy. And then the discussions kind of take a turn to the more hostile, as Easthaven starts to throw claims at Targos for stealing their cauldron. And Targos gets very defensive about it, and it says it's a dog-eat-dog world. We came into this cauldron fair and square, and that is the way the world is, especially in such dire times. Olivessa takes, or did someone have something?
Yeah, at that point, Andy would probably lean to Olivessa and just say, whisper, Targos most certainly did steal that cauldron. But what's most concerning to me is that they're buying up all the food as well. Why? And then she'll stand back up.
And Olivessa will look back to Andy and nod and say, well, if the concerns of Bremen and Caer Koenig and Lonely Wood are to be believed, food is not making it to the very far reaches of the 10 towns, and the traders seem to all say that Targos has quite a bit of gold being thrown at them for all the food. If you have this cauldron of aplenty, why do you need more food? And Nerith looks at Olivessa very pointedly and says, because it's a free market. That's how things operate. We can buy what we need, and if we need more in these dire times, we're going to buy more because we have access to it. If you want the food first, then pay more for it. It's simple as that. We don't need government regulation coming in from Bryn Shander. And the other towns agree, like, they need to, allow for trade caravans to go through with supply. And they put forth the motion that food caravans should avoid Cairn Dinaval. This comes from Trovus and the Easthaven speaker, who has sided with the smaller towns, even though they don't have a food shortage.
Sorry, do you mean that the caravan should avoid Targos?
Sorry, what did I say?
You said Caer Dinaval.
Sorry, should avoid Targos. But Trovus then speaks up and says, well, if we had more of our dogs, the traders could come to Caer Koenig and cut across and avoid Targos indefinitely. And that discussion breaks down a little bit more of into the minutia. But as they start to discuss this, you see that the Targos representative is quite flustered at this suggestion. And towards the end, Targos then throws at Easthaven that Easthaven, had encroached on Caer Dinaval fishing rights, pushing down the smaller town and making it harder for them to survive. What have they to say about that? And Easthaven defends themselves with the oncoming freeze. Necessary actions were taken, and they are working on mending that relationship with Caer Dinaval, who is not here at this meeting. All right. Good. Is it too much detail for you guys? Just want to keep track of where, if I'm losing you at all.
No,
you're
That's
great.
fine for me.
Okay.
On board.
All right. So that's been talked about. The next item up for discussion.
Can I
It
ask
might
a quick
benefit
question
all
off
of it.
table?
Sorry, you guys both spoke at the same time. I didn't hear you.
Do you want to go
And-
first, Chris?
Adriana, you can go first.
Okay. Off table, I was just wondering, would Andy have a knowledge of who Targos would benefit the most from starving? Would they have a specific strategic target in making sure that the others don't have enough food? I'm not sure how savvy she will be about the politics of that area.
So, because I don't think Vega really went over and discussed what he heard with you guys. But let's see. Go ahead and let's make that a history check.
Ooh, that's a natural 19, so it's a dirty 20.
All right. So obviously, the ones that will hurt the most from them just absorbing all of the food would be the towns that come after them in the roadways. So that's going to be towns of Bremen, Tourmaline, and Lonelywood. I don't think you guys have been to either of those outside of Zizix, who originally came from there. So those.
What she was kind of going for is like, would one of those in particular be like? Is there a reason for one of those in particular to be a target for Targos? Like, do they have a resource Targos has always wanted, or some sort of military advantage?
So you know that Bremen has a very good lake access. Tourmaline has a gem mine that seems to be very enriched, and then Lonelywood is the only other forest in the 10 towns outside of Goodmead.
Okay, so since they have the soup bowl, she will assume that that's not quite the target, but the gem mine in the forest may be. Okay, that's just something I wanted her to analyze herself.
Okay, that was a good roll. So you got a lot of information or intuition from that.
Sweet.
And Silas would like to advise Olivessa to remind them that, or let them know at least, that the mead shortage should be coming to an end, as at least, the creature that stole the mead has been dealt with, and the one that, the creature that initially killed the last town speaker.
All right, and she will reiterate that once that issue kind of gets discussed. Here
and the bees
next.
Are in business.
The bees are in business.
Andy's gonna write down the information she has on that, like the 3 towns and like what their resources are, and she's gonna circle the last 2 with the gem mine in the forest, and she's gonna write a little note that says like these could be the potential targets for Targos in their attempts to stop trade, and she's just gonna move that to Olivessa so that she knows about it.
Okay. And it's at this time that Markham and about 2 hours have passed at this time. And Markham and Duvessa, they step up and they say, well, this might be a good time for a little bit of a recess to allow what's been said to become malleable, and take it in with your advisors, and we will reconvene in about 10 minutes. And Olivessa had given the spiel about getting the Goodmead trade back on track, just like Silas had advised, and she did it very good, very well, and all of the speakers were receptive to that and happy that the mead was going to start flowing again. Well, she retreats back to you guys and she says, "Oh, this is a lot of discussion for just a handful of issues, and everybody's just so standoffish with each other."
It's probably because they have a horse in the race they're not talking about.
Yeah, that's definitely so, and that note you slipped to me, that information, that makes sense, if I were to say so.
Yeah, if they have unlimited food, there's a good reason they're trying to keep food from others, and it's likely some sort of advantage that they want for themselves.
And does that track with the information I overheard?
Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah, I'll come forward with that information as well.
Wow. So, and you divulge that information. She says, Targos is looking to become some sort of, they're on some sort of power trip, it seems.
Yeah, I'll definitely divulge what I heard as well, in order to add gas to that fire.
Well,
seems they don't care who they hurt on their way either.
I might recommend, outside of this meeting, of course, that Targos might need some further investigation, as these are concerning facts.
Andy nods. I agree with that.
And Olivessa says, yes, and I think you're right, but do you think we should tell the representatives of Bryn Shander what we think?
Perhaps not yet, until we have evidence.
It might be worth talking to them after the meeting. They do hold us in regard, at least.
I wouldn't argue, though, against throwing it out there baselessly. It seems what Targos does. Once again, I'm reminded of the village idiot of Cormier Shapiro.
Benjamin, perhaps?
Yes.
Well, in any case, Trophus makes his way back over to you guys, and he says, you guys happen to have seen any of the dogs that came from Karakkonig in your journeys around here on the south side?
Have we?
Were they wolf-like?
No, they look like huskies, and like a husky lab kind of mix. Definitely not dire wolves or anything wild.
I'm referring to the dogs that we ran into when we were with the big wolves. You know, the little ones, the pack.
Oh, no. So those were obviously dire wolves, not the winter wolves.
Right.
Yes. So those are wild dogs, essentially, wolves. And the only time that you guys have ever seen those dogs would be when you went to the Kelvin's Cairn and climbed the mountain, and you found the dogs and Spot. You remember Spot, who led you up the mountain to go find the lost adventurers.
Spot was my buddy.
But that was the only time that you guys can remember having run into any of those, and you sent those dogs back on their way home.
One could assume Targos is hoarding dogs as well.
And Trovis says, it's not the most far out idea I've ever heard, but I could sure use a drink right now. Olivessa, she reaches into her bag and she pulls out a flask and hands to Trovis and says, "Here you go. Private reserve." And Trovis's eyes just light up. He's like, "Don't mind if I do." And takes a large swig from her flask. But he continues and he says, "It really sounds like Targos is just being a bully in the Northwest. That's just that's bad behavior, and we can't survive like that. They can't survive like that. Targos can, but Bremen, Lonelywood, Tourmaline, they're gonna need some help, and I kind of think that's where Targos is gonna try and fill the void and essentially enslave those towns because of the food trade." And he kind of brings himself closer into a hushed whisper, and he says, "With those towns subjugated to Targos, that makes Targos have the largest standing army between Bryn Shander and Easthaven combined."
It sounds like they're looking towards an invasion of some sort.
Could be. But who am I? Who am I to say? I'm just I fought my armies back in the day, and I took an arrow to the knee and couldn't do the adventuring no more. But I'll save the tales to after the meeting. We'll get together and we'll talk about some prior endeavors that I had back in my heyday. I'm sure you guys love hearing my stories.
Can I insight them?
Sure.
That's 4.
You can't really make heads or tails of them. They seem like possibly those are tall tales, but tall tales have a kernel of truth, but you're not exactly sure which one those fall under.
Could I approach the Speaker of Targos?
Yeah, you can certainly try. How would you like to approach?
Very openly, but I'd like to request a private audience if possible.
All right. So as you start to make your approach, what would you say?
What was their name again?
Nerith.
Nerith, I know you don't know me, but I would like a word from you, or with you, if you don't mind.
And Nerith, he stands up from his chair, and you see him part the sea of guards that are surrounding him, and he says, I don't think I've met you before. Who are you?
Silas Nouvelle of the Cormier royal family. A pleasure.
I see. Please, enter my inner circle and we can speak.
Absolutely. Silas will just walk on in. Could we speak without the guards?
And he says, what you can say to me, you can say to them.
I understand that you'd like to keep your inner circle near you, and you might feel safe around them, but I assure you, this may be better for only the most worthy of ears.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
$12.
Oh. And he looks to you and scratches his chin and he nods and he says, all right, go pester Bremen for a while. And the guards look to him and they nod and they collectively walk over to the town speaker of Bremen. And as they walk away, he says, you have my attention, Silas of Cormier.
Thank you. Now let me start off by saying I'm not in the business of presuming things. So please understand that I already know what you're doing.
I am running a town to the best of my ability, is what I am doing.
Absolutely, and you're doing a splendid job. Trust me, I recognize the skill and talent that it takes to run the town the way you have, even if it is at the detriment of others around you.
Perhaps a temporary ailment of this eventual betterment of the area around us.
Yes, it's always temporary until those towns simply fall off the map, as I understand it.
Fall off the map? You suggesting that they're to be destroyed soon?
If things continue the way they are, the 10 towns will whittle down to 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and so on.
Interesting, but what does this have to do with me?
Oh, it's quite simple. I don't know how much you know of Cormier. Do you know much?
I know enough. They're a force to be reckoned with down in the south. But they would not send anyone up here.
So you would think.
Yes, that's why your presence is a bit surprising.
Yes, I have very strict orders, in fact. I have been sent to find an outsider who we feel could benefit us.
In what way?
Well, our current strategist is a bit of a fool, as it were. But we are looking for someone who can relocate and take that position, but we need to know that not only are you capable of such shrewd practices such as this, but you're also willing to give a bit of mercy, at least to save face.
While your proposition is intriguing, I don't think I'm going to be leaving my post anytime soon.
It would be well worth your while. The offer, as they say, is lined in gold.
I will speak to my advisors, and I can send word for you.
Very well, but please, I know what you're capable of, so please prove to me that you are also capable of mercy here today. Help those around you. I understand it might be a free market after all, but I feel those who are struggling could at least live a little longer before they find a boot on their neck.
Very well. I will take word and contemplate on it for the remaining of this break.
Thank you. I do appreciate your time. And do consider my offer.
And then at that last word, I need you to make a persuasion or a deception.
It's 12 again.
Okay. And he says, I will speak to you soon, Silas Noel.
Speak to you very soon. And then I'll head on back.
Okay.
Noel, Noel, Noel.
Did I say Noel? I meant Nouvelle.
I fucking did.
It's
That
alright,
was
no
funny.
worries.
My bad. So, any other people that you guys would like to talk to during this brief intermission?
No for me.
So, what about Ravahess? What's he make of all this?
Well, right now he is just trying to take everything in. He's not really offering up any information, as he is just trying to focus on listening and remembering what every single person is saying.
Oh yes, because of that damn feat.
You're welcome.
Right. Then, after a few minutes, Markham and Duvasashane, they approach the table and say, let us reconvene. We've had some time to ponder on our thoughts. Perhaps we can present something constructive. And they all reapproach the table and continue speaking on what they got going on. Let's see. So, Markham actually brings up that there is a very, very imminent threat that he has discovered alongside the help of Caer Koenig and Trovis have brought this up, Easthaven, and also Lonelywood. Markham presents at the table that the constituents of Lonelywood have captured a Duergar, and they interrogated him at extreme lengths, and the information unfurled from that Duergar is that there are imminent plans to stage an attack on the 10 towns as a whole. And he presents a transcript of what was said. And they said that they found out that the Duergar have been hoarding Chardolin. They've been trying to steal it from every town that they've infiltrated themselves into. They have the ability to turn invisible, as that information was given to them by Trovis of Caer Koenig. But there is some sort of construct that is being created out of Chardolin that has a mind of its own. And will wield power, and they're unsure if that power is in by sheer numbers of an army or by some sort of colossal construction. And they believe that this is something that the 10 towns need to unite on and come together and be ready for anything at this point. And as he's divulging this information, the town speaker from Targos makes eye contact with Silas, and he says, "We will be happy to provide any support that is needed if any of these towns, any of our towns, come under attack. We will be at the ready." And Olivessa speaks up and says, "Of course, we also would assist in this endeavor should the threat become imminent." And this seems to be one issue that all the 10 towns can agree on. And the only towns that are unspoken for here are Dugan's Hole and Caradon of All. But it is inferred that they believe that they would also have an ability to help as well. Anyone like to slide anything into Olivessa during this time?
Yes. Given this subject matter, Lek would probably approach Olivessa and just remind her about the mind flare activity in Dugan's Hole. I don't know, not to say that she has to talk about that then, but something maybe worth noting along the same vein.
Okay. And she nods to you and says, "Yes, thank you, Lek." And with the Duergar threat still being discussed at this moment, the speaker from Lonelywood, he says, "Well, if I were to know anything about what he was saying, which I digress, we did not have a very good translator with us, but I would say that whatever they're making has sentience, and I've never seen anything like that before." And Trovus and Deneth Whalen and Olivessa, along with all the speakers that you've met previously, they kind of glance over at you guys, the party. They say, "There's a man made of metal with you, isn't there? Where is he?"
Zizix is gonna pipe up and say, "Well, where is this being that you speak of?"
They said that this thing is being made in one of their fortresses, which we don't have an exact location on. Unless you're speaking of the individual that was interrogated.
Well, I was thinking just the first, but you make a good point. Where's the second one? We may want to have some other questions for them.
He refused to eat and drink, and could not force him to sustain himself in his captivity. He perished just the last 10 day.
That's pretty metal.
So you're saying that they're going to different towns, gathering up every bit of Shadowland that they can just to create this, whatever this is?
That seems to be the consensus of what we understand. Easthaven noted that there was a ship that they had parked in their docks that had Shardlin in the linings that was ransacked not too long ago. Trovus of Karakonig, he mentioned that there was attempted thievery for a lantern that was hanging above an inn, I believe, that I think you actually returned and retrieved from the fortress. But there's a number of other accounts of Chardlin going missing in towns, and it seems like that could be the common culprit.
Sounds to me like the 10 towns need a few angels to help out.
But where is the individual that travels with you?
He was feeling a bit under the weather. He is back at the tavern.
Does he seem to be of good capacity of the mind? He does not seem to be brainwashed or following any orders?
He follows no one's orders but his own.
Was he ever in the possession of the Duergar that you are aware of?
They tried to take him. We were able to rescue him before they did whatever they wanted to.
That definitely intrigues us, and I would like to know what they said to him, if he could even converse with them.
I don't believe they spoke any common language, to my knowledge.
Well, that might be a dead end, but nevertheless, it might be worthwhile to get a good look at this individual and see if he has any weaknesses, and study this metal of Chardlin more in depth.
I can tell you right now, I have studied him up and down. You know, I don't think there's really that much to really gain from that.
Do you happen to have reports of your findings somewhere?
Well, of course.
If you need to retrieve them, that is fine with me. But if you can have those brought to Bryn Shander, that would be very helpful.
Well, how do I know that you're not thinking ill of our friend?
Well, we have some questioning capacities for sure, but and Trovis speaks up and he says, Lysander has been an assistance to our town, and I can vouch for Lysander. And all of Essa says I vouch for Lysander as well.
And I'm gonna say, I know none of you know who the hell I am, but I vouch for him.
And the speaker of Bremen says, Lysander has found myself when I have been lost a few times. I can vouch for Lysander. And I can corroborate everything that Zizix is saying. He has spent a lot of time with Lysander.
And I can tell you right now that, you know, if things come to things, I want Lysander in my corner. Not in some dungeon being tested on.
And the speaker of Targos, he says, well, be that as it may, we would like to know anything that you've found in regards to the properties of Chardlin when it's been constructed into armor and the like. If there's anything you can tell us or provide us in a report to have knowledge on, that would be very beneficial to us.
I could write something up.
And and everyone kind of quiets down, and they reflect on what was said at this point, and Olivessa brings up, there was also a potential infestation of mind flayers in Dugan's Hole. And there's a very pregnant pause amongst the town speakers, and they look to Olivessa, and they kind of look back to each other before giving out a hearty laugh. And they said, "What are mind flayers gonna have to gain from Dugan's Hole? It's such a shithole, that place."
I actually hear Dugan's Hole is on the upswing. They recently banned incest.
She's not lying. We passed through there and people were having very strange dreams, losing time, all signs of mind flayer activity.
Perhaps that's why they make such a perfect target, because it is such a shithole full of people who are kind of at the end of their, their sad little lives. So why not make them into mindless slaves, and no one would expect it, No one would expect it at all, so it would catch everyone unawares. I can't speak for the mind players, but it does make a certain degree of sense if you think about it.
And they said, they reply and they say, it's something to keep an eye on, but I think we're all in agreement here that Dugan's Hole would be not a huge loss. Even their best residents, I don't think they would make the cut as a good leader.
Well, if the mind flayers come for them and succeed, they'll come for the rest of you too. So keep that in mind.
Can we possibly get you guys to look into this mind flayer threat?
My favorite vacation spot.
Andy's gonna glance at the others and see what they think.
Oh god, I don't want to go back to Dugan's Hole.
Well, we can only face one major threat at a time. Do we worry about mind flayers, or do we worry about this big Shardlin being that's being built?
Or could the two be connected?
Ooh.
I don't know how likely it is that they're connected, but I believe splitting our efforts doesn't assist anyone.
Right. Well, we'll have to prioritize. Which should we do first?
My vote's for the Sentinel being. I mean, the mind flayers, we've never really seen them. We haven't
That's
really
true.
got much to go on.
But if anyone starts having strange dreams in any of your towns, you should send word immediately. Or losing time, that sort of thing.
It's not entirely true. One of us has seen them.
Well, Carcass won't go near them.
You're saying Carcass has seen these beings?
Yes, he's described them. I can't recall what it is he referred to them as, but it wasn't the correct name. But
The Yagul.
yes, that's what he called them, and he described them with the things on their face. But he is terrified of them. He would never go back. But he seemed to describe being a captive on their ship.
And Trovis speaks up and says, if that big old brute is afraid of those things, that's a formidable foe, I'd say.
I would agree with that. He's not afraid of anything, except them.
Well, if they are that big of a threat, it might be worthwhile to investigate that first and From what we understand, that thing is still being constructed, but we don't know how old that information is. But there's really no telling which would be a bigger threat first.
Well, do you know whereabouts it was being constructed?
We know it was in the southern mountains somewhere is where they think we can pinpoint that Duragar base to.
And off table, is that the opposite direction as Dugan's Hole?
No.
Dugan's Hole is along that mountain range, so to speak.
Same spot.
I mean, the mountain range is large. Let me see if I can pull up the map here real quick.
I mean, yeah, the south is nothing but mountains, so you know.
Dugan's Hole is a good hop skipping away, probably about 20 miles south in the wilderness towards that mountain range. But that range spans all across the 10 towns. They're not exactly sure where that fortress is going to be. But they're going to be on the lookout for any more Duragar to try to extract more information from them. Or perhaps if you come across a Duragar, extract that information from them yourselves.
If Dugan told us on the way, we could stop by there. But it wouldn't hurt to perhaps send some other soldiers towards the other threat, just to be on the safe side.
And Easthaven, they say their armies will be standing by, and Markham and Duvessa, they say we can send an attachment to Goodmead if that is permissible to you, Olivessa. And Olivessa says, yes, of course. If the threat is to the south, we will take any extra hands that we can get. And as that dissemination of that issue gets wrapped up for the time being, Markham and Duvessa conclude the end of the meeting. And they say if they are to stay in town, the room for the leaders and their posse will be paid for tonight. And to bid everyone fair travels on their way homes the next day. Olivessa looks to you and she has a big sigh of like, oh, that was a lot of information. That was so much.
I think you did very well, Olivessa.
Thank you. I thought I did all right.
You have a knack for this.
Well, I'm sure I'll just get better over time.
Well, your starting point is most impressive, Olivessa. You are too modest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Markham makes his way over and he says, he looks to Ravahes and he says, have I met you before?
Oh, it's been quite some time since we have spoken.
Where do I know you from? And Duvessa, who's very much an older woman at this point, she's like 65 or so, which puts Markham at about just shy of 80. And she says, Markham, am I seeing incorrectly, or is this Ravahes?
Oh, yes, it unfortunately is I. It is very good to see you again.
And Markham looks very, very confused, and he says, but how? You died 20 years ago.
Oh, yes. I understand. I do hope that did not put you out in any way.
No, you finished your spell, and it seemed like you were perhaps content with life, and simply did not have the urge to continue.
Well, that is very good information to have. I appreciate that, my friend. But I did have a little mishap while working on that spell. And unfortunately, here I am.
And he says, Markham says, I keep a scroll of that spell at my side at all times, just to keep a reminder of the Order of the North and what they've done for us. And he reaches into his bag, and you see a scroll that is named Ravahess's Friendly Teleport. And he says, I've only had to use this spell once or twice to get to Duvessa, but this is what you create. And he hands it over to you to look over.
Yes, and I would happily look it over.
And you see that you see all the missing equations, so to speak, of what you've been lacking as you take a look at it. And with your photogenic memory, or you memorize the spell.
Oh, that is very, very good. And I will hand him the scroll back.
Well, it's good to see you, and I can't thank you enough in the Order of the North. If you find your way back, you let them know. We're all right.
Oh, yes, it will be very good to see everyone again.
And Markham puts his hand on your shoulder and squeezes snugly, and he says, best of luck to you, Ravahess.
Well, I do thank you. And I thank you again for looking at that scroll. That could be most helpful too.
And he says, you're welcome to keep it if you'd like.
Oh, I don't know that there is a need. I have memorized it.
And he kind of smirks and laughs, and he says, you're very quick with those things. I don't know how you do it, but glad we could see you one last time.
Yes, and I am sorry for dying on all of you.
Markham continues his laugh as he makes his exit from the town hall, and during this exchange, the rest of the town speakers have also found a way to filter out of the room as well, and you find yourselves in the room with all of Essa, Markham, and Duvessa as the last ones there. What would you guys like to do?
Ravahess, did you have any interest in joining us on this?
Well, that is a very tempting offer. However, with what I just received from Markham, I believe that in the morning I may make my attempt to go home.
Understood. That's a shame.
Well, it has been nice to meet you, Ravahess.
Oh no, the pleasure is all mine, of course. Have any of you decided on a course of action?
Sounds like not.
I thought we would go to Dugan's Hole first. See if there's anything we can do there before moving on. At the very least, we could gather information and see just how lost they are.
I think the only thing we can do in Dugan's Hole is family members.
That's banned now.
Boots of incest.
Then focus our energies on finding that creation.
I would like to know where I can get some more Shadowland. Everyone seems to say that they're getting it stolen, but who even has some?
Well, I think that's the thing. It's hard to come by, and what little anyone does have is getting stolen.
Right.
But I'd say once we take care of that problem, we'll probably have access to quite a bit of it.
And since that's in the south anyways, it only makes sense to stop through Duganshole as Silas recommends.
Agree.
As much as I don't want to go back there, it does make sense.
I
Not
mean,
so
between
sure
you and
Targos
me.
will go back there.
Caucus, would you be able to stomach that for us?
Yes, I can eat a lot of things.
Wonderful.
Would you eat a Yargle?
Oh, no. We do not go to see the Yagul, and we do not go to get the cauldron.
Oh, as far as I know, we weren't going to get the cauldron. But we did, since you brought it up.
Would you do it for a carcass snack?
Oh no, I don't eat the carcasses.
I'm going to need to bite another cow.
The night is very dark. It doesn't seem like it's going to be snowing heavily tonight. It looks pretty mild. Still cold, obviously. Extreme cold. But what would you guys like to do?
About what time of night is it?
It's probably around 7 or 8 p.m.
Huh.
Perhaps we should actually meet with Lysander and figure out what we can do collectively.
Yes, a
That sounds like a
marvelous
good
idea.
idea.
To the tavern.
All right, and you guys make your way through town to the north side of town and to the north outlook. And Lysander, what have you been doing this whole time? Just drinking?
Actually, I did want to go and talk to Thaddeus. He mentioned something interesting that I would like to revisit with him.
Okay, sure.
So, walking back up to the bar to order another drink,
Uh-huh.
I say, Thaddeus, you had, come here, Thaddeus, you had mentioned something about me being as old as a deity.
Yeah. It's more of an expression than anything else.
Is that all it is?
I mean, dozens of centuries old is very old. It's kind of like if you're as old to be in school with Tyr himself. Same vein.
Oh. Okay.
What do you have on your mind?
I just wasn't quite sure if there was a little something more to your statement than that. But if it's just an expression...
It was just an expression, dear friend. I don't want to impose any delusions of grandeur on yourself.
Oh, yeah, no. You're funny. You're a funny guy. That is, I would not. No, look at me. No. Do you worship any deities?
I do. That's more of a personal question, but do you really want to know, or are you just drunken talking?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Well, must know. I do pray to the Morning Lord. It's a little silly, and it seems like all hope is lost to praise the Morning Lord, but especially with the surroundings being as cold and dark as they are all the time.
See, I'm very glad that I got to talk to you about that then, because that happens to be a another reason why I'm here is because, do you know of a tiefling named Atramon?
Yeah, I do know Atramon, a little bit, as much as anyone can know Atramon.
He seems to be a mysterious fellow. He was not at the building earlier today. That's where we found the old man, Rabahes. I was wondering about what Atramon might have to say about the Morning Lord, and you seem to feel like your prayers are going unanswered, as given the cold climate around us, he has not quite, melted it off.
Well, the Faerun is a large place, and he can't be everywhere at once. There are matters at hand that are acting more concentrated on this particular area than he is. It's just one of those things, but you have to keep the faith.
Indeed. So, you seem like you want to keep this part of yourself kind of private, and that's perfectly fine, and I respect that. But how many people in this town give Oral their sacrifice, give her due, so to speak, as opposed to your Morning Lord? What is your Morning Lord's name?
That's how I know him, is the Morning Lord. Let's see, I believe... and he tries to think back on other names that the Morning Lord has gone by, and he says, I believe at one time it was Lathander, actually.
Lathander?
Indeed.
Wow.
The Bringer of Dawn, Inspiration's Dawn, other titles that he's gone by.
Whoa, noisy dog, sorry. Wouldn't you think that his services are needed here right now?
Sure, I would say so, but it's to answer your other question. We all participate in the tribute to Oral, whether it's having our lottery once every full moon, it seems, or whether a town goes without warmth for a night. It's all a form of worship, and It's not uncommon for people to participate in polydeism, but you know.
Well, I don't know just how much. I imagine the people around here know you pretty well, at least those who care for a drink or need a room, but do you not feel like maybe your energies would be better suited to give the Morning Lord his due instead of Oral's?
The problem is that a benevolent deity is often not seen or not heard, but they are seen in the life of the youth, in their laugh, in babies being born. But malevolent deities, they are heard. Their actions usually are a lot more pronounced. They echo across the realm. That's just the nature of good and evil. The good have the power, and the evil have the power but use it.
It's a cold truth, I'll admit. Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
But I feel like for the greater good, it would be better suited for everybody to give good, do good, be good, and get good.
Get good, noob. But,
I'm rambling. I'm sorry to take up your time, friend.
well, let me finish your thought for you. If you are looking for an immediate reaction, the best way to look for an immediate reaction from a deity is probably to be worshipping an evil deity. Because they take action without consequence.
I want you to think about what you just said and ask yourself if that's really a good idea.
Well, what's the old saying? Pick the lesser of two evils.
Touche, friend. I raise my glass. Here's to the lesser of two evils,
Here.
I suppose.
Try this. It's a mimosa master.
Yay!
And what, pray tell, is this drink?
Well, it's a little bit of orange pulp and firewater.
And alliteration.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will leave you back to your business. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me, Thaddeus.
You'll be back here soon, I'm sure. The night is young.
I'll drink to that.
And some time passes as Lysander goes back to his table to partake. He probably returns to the bar one or two times after that. But as he sits down with probably his third drink after that conversation, the party arrives. And you guys all see Lysander sitting at that same table with a number of glasses in front of him.
We're going to build a little pyramid out of them.
So just to clarify, picking the lesser of two evils was an old saying even then?
Sure.
God, that's an old fucking saying.
I mean, this is not Earth's timeline, right?
Is it? Have we clarified that?
Yeah, we've clarified that.
I assumed this was some kind of Flashpoint paradox scenario with the timelines. I don't know.
Oh no, this is in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay, so we're on Star Wars time. Gotcha. I can get behind that.
Yep. I mean, if you guys were to play a Spelljammer campaign, maybe you stumble across Earth at some point and it becomes D20 modern.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, sorry. I have sidetracked us enough. Where were we?
Good. You guys just came back from the bar after leaving the town speaker meeting.
Right. Lysander's cut pyramids.
Yep.
Hey there, buddy. That's quite the pyramid.
Yeah. And it was a fun time building it.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, pal.
Yeah. How did your meeting go?
It was pretty good, I guess, all things considered.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, plenty to talk about.
Anything of note?
Several things. Might want to talk about them in the morning after you've gotten a little of this booze out of your system, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, do it now. He's philosophical now.
I'm gonna go settle up this tab real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go see how much debt I'm in now.
You go up to Thaddeus and he says, "He's done a number on me."
Yeah, I had a feeling. What are you owed there, friend?
Looking at about 20 gold just for the tab.
That sounds about right. Give me just a second here. Above table, what does one firewater normally go for?
It goes for I think 2 or 3 silver.
Okay. Damn. We put in work. Said 20 gold.
Would I be in earshot of that by chance?
I'm sorry, what?
Would I be in earshot of that?
Yeah, pretty close.
Could Silas approach Thaddeus and just be, Thaddeus, please, I've performed here many times. Perhaps you could cut us a little bit of a deal as a friend.
And go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage, because you are friends.
$27.
He says, yeah, I'll give you the discount. And he starts scratching down on paper and he says, we'll cut it down to 12.
Thank you very much, Thaddeus. I really appreciate that. The next song will be for you.
Oh, you know the one I like.
Absolutely. I'll just go ahead and do a little bit more performing.
All right, go ahead and make your performance check.
That's a 9.
Yeah, which song?
Must have gone back to B-holes.
What race is Thaddeus again?
He's a half elf.
Hey.
Something a little folksy, maybe like kind of like Welcome Home, but nicer.
So you start playing, and he says, "No, no, no. Play Cotton Eye Kobold."
Oh, absolutely. Cotton Eye Kobold. Everyone can dance to Cotton Eye Kobold, a song about a venereal disease.
Oh,
Alright, I'll play Cotton Eye Kobold for him.
And as you continue playing, and people, some people like Cotton Eye Kobold, but it's kind of a mixed room at the moment for what you're playing. But man, Thaddeus loves it. He's just so happy about it. And then
it's like a Texas Roadhouse situation where he makes his waiters dance.
Not quite. But there's one person in particular who actually gets up in the middle of your performance, and he walks over to that portrait that's on the wall, and next to it he sees a fish on a plaque, and he looks back to the friends that he came back with, and he says, "Man, you see the size of this knucklehead trout?" And he points over to it while he's looking back, and all of a sudden this fish snaps off the wall and folds directly looking at him, and it says, "Oh, there's a place I go, farther up the river's flow. Where it is, I do not know. Must be under all that snow." And it returns to the flat position.
Fuck.
Wonderful, I hate it.
Vega's going to cheer.
Oh, my side is gonna go, yay!
So I'm gonna try to claw the fish because it's a flopping fish on the ground.
God, I love that fish.
Old Body.
He's one of my best friends. Also, the bartender said 12 gold. I'm gonna give him 13 and ask for one more firewater.
Yeah, and he has it at the ready for you.
Thank you kindly, sir.
No problem. Pleasure's mine.
And I'll drink it and go back to everyone else.
All right. So everyone's gathered around at the table with Lysander except for Silas, who is performing Cotton Eye Kobold, as previously determined. And what would you guys like to do?
I would like to ask you if the song that fish sings has an official name.
It's been dubbed the Ballad of Old Body.
Cool. I will now be requesting that from Silas everywhere that he plays.
It costs extra.
Then I'm about to go broke.
Yeah.
I will send you the lyrics.
Sick.
Sounds good.
Oops is gonna go play with the fish.
Suppose we should wait until tomorrow to discuss our next course of action.
What's Eclipse doing?
Playing with the singing fish.
You go up to it, and then what do?
Poke it a couple times.
You only poke it the once. "Oh, there's a place I go, farther up the river's flow. Where it is, I do not know. It must be under all that snow." It returns back to the horizontal position.
I like this fish.
Do you think Thaddeus would sell that fish to us?
Can I have it?
Thaddeus says, "Kindly go fuck yourself."
Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't sell it either. It's so magical.
I'm always gentle. Thank you, Bill.
Oh boy. So did I hear you guys were getting ready to hit the rooms for the night?
Yes. I
Or-
can't more.
Yeah, Andy's definitely ready for bed.
All right, Eclipse. How late are you staying up playing with the fish?
As late as I can before driving the barkeeper nuts.
Roll a D100.
$65.
Okay. Yeah, he seems content to let you play with the fish for as long as you want. It's not going to bother him none.
Fine. She gets bored and goes to bed.
Well, so everyone goes to bed and then you continue playing with it. How long do you play with it?
Yeah, like 30 minutes or so.
Okay. So as everyone heads to their respective rooms and calls it a night, and Lysander hobbles over to his room, I assume, at some point. Eclipse, you just continually start to, just poke at old Bitey, and you get a giggle each time that it seems to short a little bit, and it misses a word here and there, and you start to notice. But one time where it shoots up off the horizontal plaque that it's on, you catch a glint of something inside. Something shiny.
Can I try to pull the shiny thing out of it?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and make a let's make that a dexterity check.
It's a 10.
It's a 10. So you definitely feel something inside when you try to reach in, and then you try to glance around, and you seem to have maybe pushed it further into the fish.
Can I pick it up and try to shake it out of the fish?
Are you going to do this in front of the bartender, or are you going to divert his attention somehow?
I'll try to do it with my back turned to the barkeeper.
Okay. So as you go to try again, make a dexterity check at disadvantage.
It's an 18.
So with that, you're able to successfully pull out a gold ring out of Old Bitey, and it has a interesting symbol on it as you inspect it. You've seen that symbol before, but you can't remember where.
Well, I'll just have to see if I can remember it later, and I'll pocket the ring and put Old Bitey back on his plaque.
Okay. And the bartender does not notice. The patron's kind of see you messing with the fish, but because you established you were playing with it, they kind of just started ignoring you, so it doesn't seem like anyone caught on. But
Cool.
you
I'll go to
retreat
bed then.
to your bedroom, and everyone arises that next morning. Lysander, you're still drunk. To a lesser extent, but with as much alcohol as you consumed. You're not technically hungover, but you're still saturated in booze.
Yeah.
So everyone reconvenes into the main hall of this bar. What would you guys like to do?
Is Rava Hess still with us?
Robert Hess, after your long rest, what would you like to do?
Well, I know that the previous day Lek had asked me to identify something for him, so I will come down and join them for a while.
Okay. So Rava Hess is down there with you.
Rava Hess. So, do you think you still have a moment of time to inspect the magical properties of my boots?
Oh, of course, I did tell you I would do that for you.
Well,
Did Andy drop?
nope, I just said wonderful.
Oh, okay.
And with that, I will touch his boots and cast Identify.
Okay. You identify these boots as the boots of the Winterlands. They give him resistance to cold, ignore difficult terrain created by ice or snow, and tolerate temperatures as low as minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Excellent, and I will relay that to you happily.
Nice. Why, thank you so much, Rava Hess, for taking the time to do that for me. I greatly appreciate it. You truly are a good friend.
Oh, I do try my best to be the best friend that I can.
Well, it is a pleasure to have gotten to know you.
Oh no, the pleasure is mine.
I'll second what Beck said.
And at this time, as more patrons start to filter in for breakfast and all that good stuff, the bartender looks over to you. It's not Thaddeus, it's another bartender at this time, and she says, can I get you guys anything before the rush gets in? You were here first.
What are you serving for breakfast today?
I believe we have a fresh stock of bird eggs in.
Yes, please. That sounds wonderful.
That sounds wonderful. Yes.
Andy
yes.
will order 3 breakfasts, 2 intended for Carcass to take from her.
Okay.
Eggs and teas would be my preference if you have some tea by chance.
All right.
I think I would also like some eggs. Maybe that might help to take some of the liquor off.
And what about you, Zizix? Or is he back?
Zizix is before he comes down, he's gonna create some potions for the day.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll when he gets down, he'll take some eggs.
Sounds good. And after a short amount of time, everyone gets what they ordered. Bar tab comes out to be about 15 silver in total. Unless you guys wanted alcohol to go on top of it.
No, not quite so early.
As you guys are brought your breakfast, let's see. Lek, you spoke up last, so you get to roll a d20, just a flat one.
All right. $15. Quince.
So let's see. as you kind of eavesdrop on this conversation of a couple of individuals that come in, you overhear them say, "Do you hear what happened to that evil wizard in Easthaven? They tied him to a stake and they lit him on fire not too long ago." "You have any idea why?" says the other one, and he says, "Well, they say he murdered someone from the Order of the North, but he said before that he hired some 10-towners to find some sort of buried tower, and then he killed him to keep him secret. It was a combination of those two things that he was killed for. That's everyone knows about the Order of the North murder. But not a lot of people know about the 10-towners that went missing to help him look for a buried tower. I might have caught wind of where it could be, but I wouldn't go myself." And the other guy says, "Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to go out there in this sort of weather, man. That's just asking for a bad time."
Excuse me, good sirs. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Did you say you might have the location of a rumored tower, perchance?
Yeah. I did get some information on, some people who were close to those guys that let him out there. But there was a tower that broke away from one of those old Netherese cities. It's
Netherreal, perchance?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Well, let's just say I have a historical interest.
And he says, "Well, what's this information worth to you?"
Well, well, it's hard to say, as I don't exactly know you gentlemen and what you'd be interested in trading for it with, but I'd be open to your personal suggestions.
Well, it depends on what you want. If you want me to circle it on a map in, a rough area, I could let that go for about 5 gold. But because I had that in-depth conversation with these people, I might be able to lead you there. I wouldn't go out there alone. But if I had you and all your friends there, I'd feel pretty safe, and I'd do it for 20 gold.
And how far, without telling me a direction, of course, how far would you say it is from where we are right now?
Well, in times of good weather, let's see, and he starts to lean back in the bar stool a little bit, and he says, well, it's probably a day and a half hike in a particular direction.
All right. Okay. How about this, sir? In order to properly convince my friends, I can pay you. Let's see. How much gold would it take for you to tell me just the direction for starters?
5 gold.
All right. Here's 5 gold. Take that out real quick. So, what direction is it from here?
East.
East.
North. East northeast, to be exact from here.
North. Yes, I heard that bit too. All right. Let's see, where are we? Oh, yes, northeast. Right. Well, yes, I will then pay you the other 50, and I will be sure to convince my friends that it's worth heading that direction. How can I find you later to set up travel arrangements?
Well, day to day, I work as the ingredients master for the blacksmith Black Iron Blades. You can find me around there most of the time. My name's Brock.
All right. Well, Brock, I look forward to doing this business with you. And I will be by a little later today to set everything up.
That sounds swell to me. I didn't catch your name, I don't think.
Ah, yes, I did not give it. I apologize. My name is Lek Churlong.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you soon, I'm sure, Lecture Long.
Very good. I will see you in the very near future. Thank you again, good sir.
I'm happy to be of assistance.
And Lek will walk back to the party. Is everybody gathered at the same area, I'm guessing?
Yeah, everyone's partaking in their breakfast at this time.
They did a phenomenal job with the eggs. I must say, I'm actually impressed. Cool.
Yeah, everyone's mouths are full, so they didn't say anything. They were just nomming away.
Did Carcass eat his breakfast that Andy got for him?
I assume so.
Cool.
Marcus.
Oh yes, I would eat all the breakfast.
Excuse me, everyone. I know we briefly touched on our plans for the immediate future of where to go and such, but I've recently come across some information that might be worth a quick little side trip before we begin the journey south. I know none of us are really that eager to go back to Dugan's Hole so quickly, so before we go, I have a fellow who knows of the location of a place of historical importance that might contain perhaps some magical treasure that might be of interest to all of us. And he's agreed to lead us there. It's just a little ways northeast of here. I know it's the opposite direction that we want to go, but you know, like I said, a quick little diversionary trip, and even who knows, if we wanted to keep on going north, we could always swing past Targos. I'm just talking out of my ass at this point, really, but at least I think it'd be worth a quick little trip to check it out, don't you think?
Andy's gonna look at the rest of the party and see what they think.
And I'm gonna speak up and say, well, I don't even know what was discussed at the town meeting, so I don't even know what the plan is.
So Lysander's game, anybody else?
Well, do you know specifically what we might find there? If it could be useful to us and what our task is, then perhaps I would be down to do it. But that's the only way I'd want to deviate because people are counting on us.
Sure, I'd be happy to share. It's a place, I don't know if you've heard of it, called the Lost Spire of Netherreal.
And
it is...
Lysander, your eyes light up, and Netherreal is very familiar to you.
Netherreal, you say?
Yes.
I want to go there. I want to go in that direction.
Why?
That is the name of the ruling, the main. How would you say this? basically they had flying cities, Lysander. They were the upper class, essentially, of existence during your time. And they had flying cities that would float from region to region, and you mainly stayed on the ground fighting the monsters and hunting beasts. And you've been maybe on a flying city or two during your time, but if you can find, this anything that reminds you of your home, how would that make you feel?
That is a goal right now. So, yes. So I would explain to Andy, well, what vestiges of my past that I may even have the hope to attain, I would like to pursue them.
Andy kind of nods, and then she looks at the rest of the party to get their thoughts on it.
And I might add that beyond potential sentimental value for Lysander, which should certainly not be downplayed at a time like this, there are also rumored to be magical items there, and I'm sure such things could be very useful in the days to come.
Yeah, we're gonna save the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta save the cheerleader first.
Saving the world, yeah.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
If I could bring up an opposing point, what has the world done for us?
You live on it, don't you?
I'd hardly call it living, but I suppose.
Well, I might add that you could totally go on this trip with me and have completely selfish reasons and be okay, because, I mean, yes, we find things to save the world with, but you could also find things that are of personal benefit to yourself. It goes both ways, really, from what I understand.
I do like the idea of benefiting me.
Well, there you have it.
I'm sorry. It was very good.
I suppose if we're going to throw ourselves at Yargul, potentially, or giant mechanical monstrosities, it might be best to perhaps be a little bit harder to kill.
Yes, and I know you don't really like paying for magical items, so why not just find one instead,
Being harder to kill is a plus.
If I can ask, are either of these expeditions paying us?
This one isn't so much pain as it is finding things that are worth much. I can't
Yes.
speak for this one, but mine
Yes.
is definitely worthwhile.
I'm sure we've all looted a corpse before. I know how that part works.
It's rumored to be more than corpses where we're going if you're gonna go to Netherreal with me.
Well, we need robes.
Robes?
Roads.
Roads. R-O-A-D-S. Right. So, are we in agreement then?
I'll throw my hat in the ring for ransacking the magical graveyard. Sure.
We might as well if it's not far from here, if we can get things that will help us on this trip.
Sounds more fun than Dugan's butthole to me, so I'm down.
Fair enough.
Excellent. Very good. Then might I recommend we take the first half of today to gather anything we might still need to get while we're in Bernshander, as we've barely been here, and I personally have several different little errands to run. And then we will meet back here maybe an hour or two.
That sounds fine to me.
All right. And as the party starts to break and divert into their individual paths that they would want to pursue today, with Ravahes still along with the party at this current moment inside of the tavern, Brock comes up to you, Lek, and he says, I just remembered that I just so happen to have a delivery today. I have to make my way over to Easthaven, but fret not. This actually saves us time.
How so?
Well, when I said a day and a half's journey through the wilderness, I neglected to say from which point. And that point was Easthaven.
I see. All right. Well, when are you planning on leaving for Easthaven?
Here shortly, after breakfast, I was assuming. But I need to gather the supplies for my blacksmith first.
Very good. Then, when and where should we meet you to set out?
You can meet me at the tavern in Easthaven, along the coastline. Surely you can find it.
All right. Very good. Then we will hopefully see you there.
Yes, I'm sure you will find me there. But for now, I must bid you adieu, and to see you later.
Very good. See you later, Brock.
So, Ravahes, what would you like to do? We'll get this. We'll get your direction here first.
Well, if they are all going to be going their separate ways, I believe first I will talk to Andy and simply let her know if there's anything else you might need from me. Please don't hesitate to ask. If not, I will make my preparations for leaving.
All right, Ravahes. Well, I don't think there's anything we need, but it's been wonderful to meet you and really an honor. I hope you're able to make it back safely.
Oh, the honor is all mine.
Andy will offer her hand to shake his.
Oh, I will definitely accept it.
And Andy, as you reach out and you extend your hand to shake the hand of Ravahes, Eclipse, you notice the emblem that is on Andy's shield is the emblem that was embedded in that ring.
Eclipse is gonna approach Andy and kind of secretly take out the ring and whisper to her, "Do you recognize this at all?"
Andy will look.
It is your father's ring.
Yes, where did you find this? And she's going to reach out to examine it.
She lets her do so. I was kind of messing around with that singing fish last night, and it was in the fish.
That fish. And Andy just kind of looks wide-eyed, and then she looks at Eclipse and says, I have been fishing with almost obsession trying to find the fish that had eaten this. My father said it, that a fish had swallowed it. A trout. So, I kept fishing for trout to try and find it. That's why I always offered to clean the fish. And here it is.
Well, you're more than welcome to keep it. I'm so sorry you had to go fishing for so long.
What Andy is leaving out of the picture, actually, is how much bear shit she had to sift through, because bears naturally eat a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Sounds unfair.
F in the chat.
Whoa.
Well, thank you, Eclipse. That's really nice of you. I'm glad to see this again.
And then, Lek, you hear a voice. Ah, do you feel that?
I do now.
Do you feel the power?
Yes.
That artifact. It is near, and it's not on your feet.
Ah. Let's see. But where?
There, the cat.
Oh no, don't look at me.
Is it?
What's in her hand? And at this point, you actually see the exchange of a signet ring from Eclipse to Andy.
The ring. The ring has the power.
It is very powerful. I've felt its presence before.
Well, I shall do my best to get it for you, my lord.
Yes, this is good. Very good.
Is Lek talking out loud right now?
Like a crazy person.
I don't think we ever established that, did we?
I never did, actually, in hindsight. I mean, when I communed with Larlock to give him the buckle, I had to meditate to do it. So by that logic, I'm not talking out loud. But
Fair. You are speaking internally.
touche.
Damn.
Far too clever for your games, Billy.
Like, are you going to finish your eggs?
Actually, I'm no longer hungry. I have things I need to do. You'll excuse me.
Carcass, you can have his eggs.
Oh, okay, and I will rush over and eat the eggs.
Andy's gonna slip
During-
the ring on her finger and just kind of look at it.
During that whole exchange, do I notice like looking over at us?
Let's go ahead and have Lek make a stealth check.
It's not my strong suit. Let's see. 5.
Yeah, you notice Lek. He's like staring very wide-eyed.
Eclipse is gonna like nudge Andy and be like head gesture in Lek's direction.
And he will look at Lek and then say, "Oh, no, it's not like that. It's an old family ring." And she's gonna look at Eclipse and then look back at him like, "It's not like a, you know." And then she's gonna gesture between her and Eclipse.
Mazel tov. I'm very happy for the
No,
both
it's
of
not.
you.
I
It wasn't
enjoy
that.
good ring exchange.
What? No.
I watched later.
No!
It was just a family ring she found of my family. It wasn't like a, you know. Well, it's better than shitting ourselves, huh, Eclipse?
Yeah, shit pants.
Touche. Apologies for misunderstanding the situation.
Lek
Just
actually has
stared
to
no
wipe
shit.
off a little bit of drool from his face.
Touche. Like number 2.
Number 2.
No. Boy, this day's certainly gotten busy.
I am a little concerned with this party now, though.
How? Was this comments to anyone in particular, or just out loud in general?
Well, it seemed that Eclipse and Adriana rather disgusted at the notion of a romance between them. Quite upsetting.
Indeed, I thought the same. But I was hopeful when I saw the exchange. I was hoping for other exchanges too, you know. But
Is this within earshot of Andy and Eclipse?
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Huh.
We weren't disgusted. It just we were saying that wasn't what it was.
Yep, God.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Why are you shipping your party members? That's gross.
I'm not shipping anyone. I was simply happy for you. I would have written you the most beautiful ballad.
Well, if we were in love, I'm sure we would appreciate that.
Oh, why not?
As she has a mouthful of eggs.
Yes.
Insight check?
I mean, go ahead.
Can I get on that action?
Yeah, go ahead. Both of you
Nat
roll insight.
20, baby! 21!
Nat 20.
Yeah, I'm indeed eating eggs.
Reveal your fucking heart to me.
Andy is
13.
indeed not homophobic. She's just not in love.
I'm not. Yeah, there's
There
no
you go.
attraction here.
There's a character truth, and both of you have rolled high enough to kind of believe them like that. Seems like it's on the up and up.
Alright.
They're very clearly in denial.
No potential for plutonic dalliances in the future, at least?
Perhaps we should all find a bathhouse and let things become unsecreted. That's not the word.
Yeah, just put your mouth. Talk slower.
Sorry, the eggs are really good.
They are. God. Chew before you talk.
Whew. Oh boy. Thinking about that got me going. Well, anyways.
That's it. I do need a drink now, please. Thank you.
On the house, I saw the whole thing.
Well, just downs the whole thing.
Well, okay, righto. Good. I don't even remember what I was doing. Wow, that was quite the diversion.
I mean, you were being a creep and staring at us, so there's that.
Oh, it goes back to, the whole conversation we just had.
Your weird romantic fantasies about your female party members?
Hell yes.
Oh, gross.
As if you haven't thought about Lek and I curled up in front of a fire.
Yes, we've seen it. It works.
Disgust?
You were usually, cleaning yourself the ways cat do whenever you. So,
Excuse me?
No, like that was absolutely inappropriate. It might be true, but it was inappropriate to say it out loud.
Andy's just gonna watch, and she's gonna smirk, and she's gonna say, "Just keep digging the hole, Lek."
Yes, I have a whole graveyard of empty graves in my mind right now. Yes, apologies. Sorry. That whole thing just really got me. Forgive me. I will take my leave now and go water the cranberries. Water the cranberries.
Bye.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Picked up on that drift. Anyways, off I go.
And very brisk and expedited exit from Lek out of that conversation.
Andy looks at Eclipse and says, "I really don't want to know what he's thinking about."
I don't either. God. These boys have nasty minds.
Vega's gonna speak up and say, I'm pretty sure you both already know what he's thinking about, but...
Yeah, I wasn't exactly pulling punches there.
he
Andy
wasn't
flicks a piece
hiding.
of egg at Vega.
I didn't say he was right to think it, but he wasn't exactly hiding it either.
You said you're
So
going to
you
throw an
didn't know.
egg?
Andy's gonna flick a piece of egg at Vega.
Okay.
Can I try and catch it in my trunk?
Make a dexterity check.
No, that ought to be good.
In your mouth or in your trunk?
My trunk.
Okay.
Obviously.
Catch it with my trunk and throw it into my mouth.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
12.
Yeah, you actually catch the egg and you very poignantly insert it into your mouth.
Thanks.
DM,
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
as Lek is running off, can I cast Detect Thoughts?
Yes. Lek, what are your immediate surface thoughts right now?
Wow. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. I will. Okay. I will.
So
I will
think
go with
very
this.
basically, think like nouns, verbs, those things. Don't string them together into a sentence. If he wants to peer deeper into your mind, that'll require, I believe, a wisdom saving throw. But
Got
at the
it.
initial cast, it's just surface thoughts. People, places, things, actions.
All right. Relief would be one big word. Relief and distraction. Can I leave it at that?
Give me one more. 3's a good one.
All right. Yeah, true. 3 is the best number. Relief, distraction, and new purpose.
Okay.
I'd like to peer deeper, yeah. So the DC is 15 for the
And
wisdom
it is
save.
a wisdom save. Okay.
Oh boy. My wisdom's not terrible. Let's see. Booyah! That's a dirty 20.
It is a dirty 20. You're unable to pierce through deeper. But then, oddly enough, Silas, you do hear some additional thoughts coming from Lek. Power, greed, expanse.
Oh, that is very interesting. Can I follow
Does
Lek?
Silas say that out loud?
Maybe mumbling it under his breath.
Oh, then Andy won't pay much attention.
Can I follow Lek?
You certainly can. And if you would like to do it stealthily, please make a stealth check.
That is an elective.
15.
15. You're able to follow Lek undetected. Where are you going, Lek?
Well, I was going to go to the medical experts of the town. Actually, that was going to be my one stop before leaving. So yes, I'm going to a medical expert place person.
Okay. All right. And Silas also heads out from the tavern. What about the rest of you?
Andy, I don't think needs anything, so she's going to just hang out.
Okay.
Yeah, Eclipse is the same, but she just doesn't want to be anywhere near Luck right now.
Fair. What about you, Zix? Is he out again? Oh, he's here. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
I think he would probably not really pay much attention, to be honest.
Okay. Vega?
Sorry, I was typing something. What is the question?
What are you doing while the other two had left the tavern? Everyone else is elected to sit tight and hang out so far.
If I have finished my breakfast, I would probably want to head to the library and try and read up on mind flayers.
Okay, sounds good. So Vega makes his way out as well. Carcass, hanging out with Ands?
Oh, yes, I will hang out and try and eat any scraps that people have.
Probably is a good time to for Andy, Eclipse, and Zizix to fill Lysander in on what happened at the speaker meeting last night.
Yes, please. I've been waiting for somebody to tell me something.
Yeah, and in this time, Zizix would be kind of writing out kind of some notes to provide to Brinchanda.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything that he has, but enough to kind of give some input as to, his construct.
Okay. So during the time that the party kind of fills Lysander in, we'll go ahead and follow up with, let's do Vega first. As you make your way towards the library, you make it to the library and you're greeted heartily by a woman, and she says, "Hello, how can I help you?"
Yeah, do you have any books on mind flayers by any chance?
Mind flayers. Wow. Would you prefer fictional or accurate?
Accurate to start.
Right. Not smut by chance.
Not at this time, no. Thank you.
Understood. There was a certain vibe about you, like you just left a conversation that was full of dirty things.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I left witnessing a conversation of that caliber, but I did not take part.
That sort of thing just lingers, It kind of sticks to you. So
It does. Usually I'm taking part in the conversations, even egging them on, if you will. But this one, not so much. I just had to bear witness.
Well, in that case, I can point you in this direction. And she takes you to a couple of books that were written about the mind flayers. Two of them seem to be about secondhand experiences, but one of them is about a first-hand experience with mind flayers and how he was able to survive.
That one called Flayer Mignon?
No.
That's too bad.
Good, then I'll actually read it. How long do I guess it would take me to read this book?
This book is probably about 150 pages long, so you're looking at maybe a day and a half of, you can probably get through 70 pages in a night in your off time.
Okay, I'm gonna ask her, first of all, how many books are we allowed to check out at once? And second off, how much is it?
It'll be, well, as long as you're not late, that's where I get you. 2 silver per book with a limit of 5.
Okay, and how long until they are due back?
A full 10-day.
And what do the late fees look like?
A gold a day.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is. Okay.
I have to furnish my extravagant behavior somehow.
Understand. Do you sell any of your books?
She gestures back towards the very large section that's labeled smut.
Of course. Of course.
I'll have to come to this library later.
Wonderful.
She says, if you would like to purchase a book outright, depends on the book, of course. Which book are you looking at?
This one here, and I'll hold up the first-hand account. What is that book called, by the way?
It's called Mind Flayers. What's inside them?
Wait, no. To clarify, I did not grab a book out of the smut section, Sam.
And she says, oh, my mistake. This is in the wrong section. And she takes it back and walks back to the section and hastily puts it back on the shelf. And she says, this is the one you're looking for.
Mouth fingers can be very useful.
Oh, God. So The one that was a first-hand account is the one I'm going to ask her about.
It's titled Mind Flayer and Me.
Wonderful. How much would you want for this book?
That'll go about 10 gold.
That I can do.
All
And
right.
then, hold on, let me take a couple of these things out, and then I have a couple more things to say to it.
Okay. And she says, I apologize for any sticky pages. It was in the wrong section for a while.
No. Oh.
No.
Couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself.
Okay, the name of that book was Mind Flayers and Me. Is that what you said?
Mind Flayer and Me. Yep. It's about this disabled child who stumbles across a small mind flayer, and they have some shenanigans around their cities. This poor kid is in a wheelchair at one point and can't really get around.
Oh God!
Falls off a cliff at one
Yeah,
point.
I got
yeah.
it. I got the reference now. Thank you, Paul Rudd. I appreciate it. Okay, I got that written down. So,
All
then the 2 second-hand accounts that I found, I will grab those, and I'll say, you know what? Give me that book back off the smut shelf too.
Oh, Mind Flayers, what's inside them?
Yep.
For those lonely nights.
All right, it's a real tearjerker.
Oh, I just bet. And I will
Not all jerks.
give her the 10 gold for the purchase of Mind Flayer and Me.
Yep.
And then how much to check out these 3?
Down payment of 3 silver apiece, so 9.
Okay, I will give her another gold.
Oh, well, I appreciate the tip.
No problem.
I really appreciate the tip.
Oh, boy.
I just bet you do. For the record, I'm only a couple shades of gray, not all 50, so just look elsewhere, okay?
Understood.
Don't look too far.
Appreciate it. What does this lady look like, by the way? What even is she?
Oh, what is she? Well, let me tell you. She is a half-orc, and she
wonderful.
she has like rectangular, thin glasses, bifocals, or those kind of things. She has 2 tusks that kind of curl around her bottom lip, and she doesn't look bad for a half-orc.
I try to steer clear of tusks. It just makes me homesick,
Right? Yeah. She admires your tusks.
I
The
just
ornate
bet she
jewelry
does.
that's on them. It's very,
yeah.
very becoming.
Oh, I know it is. All right, well, I'm going to check out those books, give her the gold, make note of when they will be due, and make my leave.
All right. I appreciate your patronage. I hope to see you within 10 days.
I hope so as well. Actually, you know what? I just had another thought. Before I leave, do you have any books on Diragar?
Duragar? And she thinks and she says, I don't think we have anything on them. They've... And she goes to check her books and she says, I know we had a couple of things. There's 200 gold late fees for them.
Could you tell me who it was that checked them out?
Yes, The one name is Nata Duega. Wait. Nata Duega. Nata Duragar. Oh no. I think I've been heisted.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. Well,
That's a whole row of smut I can't buy.
yeah. I suppose it is. Tell you what, if I ever come across any books on Diragar, I'll try and send them your way, okay?
I appreciate that. That would help me a lot.
Yep, okay. Well, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you upon returning these books, if no sooner.
I can't wait.
Okay.
All right. Making your way back to the tavern. It's probably
Absolutely.
about 30 minutes have passed. All right, and then we'll go ahead and jump in with Lek, with Silas tailing behind him quite successfully. Lek, you find your way over to the House of the Morning Lord. You're looking for some clerics and the people of healing. And this is where you've been directed, and you come across a individual who greets you at the door, and he says, welcome to the House of the Morning Lord. Is there anything I could be of assistance?
I certainly hope so. You see, good sir, about, I'd say, getting close to maybe a month back, I was the unfortunate recipient of red slod eggs inserted into me, and I obviously am on a bit of a timetable to get those out. And I was wondering if you or any of your people had the ability to assist me with this very severe problem.
And his eyes get really big, and he says, it's been a month?
Almost a month. Like 3 weeks, I suppose.
Right, let me get someone out here. For security reasons, we can't let you inside. I hope you understand.
I absolutely understand.
And he goes back, and he finds finds a dwarf to come out, and he says, what seems to be the problem here?
So, Lek will pull down his shirt just below his left collarbone to kind of show where the incision of the red slod larva was, and he'll say, yes, so a little over 3 weeks ago, I was accosted by a red slod, and he unfortunately managed to implant his seed in me right here, and I obviously need to get this removed in the very near future, or, well, you know what will happen, so can you help me?
Well, I'm going to do my best. And he says, let me see. And he asks you to get down on a knee really quick so he has better access to your collarbone.
I do that.
And he says, well, it's in there all right. You're not lying. And he starts to press and put pressure around it. He says, I won't know, or you won't know if this works for a little while. I'll do this for you. And he pulls out what looks like some sort of chalk, or like a chalk pen kind of thing. Some sort of dyed marker kind of deal. And he draws the circle around this area where he feels the life force of this thing. And he says, put your hand here. You feel the edge there, just where I've drawn the line.
Yes, I do.
And if it continues to get bigger after a 10-day, you may still have a problem. But if it starts to get a little tender, and if it starts to be painful, and it'll get painful and turn red, that means whatever is inside here has died. Because I have cured the disease. Your body will reject it, but it will be quite painful. Not as painful as if it came alive, but I'm gonna do what I can. Okay. Do you have something to bite down with?
I guess I'll just bite on my staff.
Yep, that'll work very good. And the first one that he does, he tries to he casts a spell to cure disease, cure poison, and the like. And he goes back to check it, and he says, I don't think that worked. Still detect. With your consent, I might have to cast a spell on you.
Good sir, I will do anything to avoid having a shortened lifespan. So
This one's going to hurt.
I am no stranger to pain.
And he reaches out directly over the area and he casts Necrotic Touch. Let's see. It's a Necrotic Touch. What's it called? It's a Vampiric Touch that I'm thinking of. Necrotic. What's that spell that clerics get first level? Necrotic. Not Bolt.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's not inflict wounds, is it?
Inflict wounds, that's what it was.
Okay.
Thank you. That was Necrotic Touch, but I think it was Vampiric Touch that I was thinking of. So,
quick question. Am I watching all of this?
You are watching all of this, and
Wonderful.
you've stayed out of his eyesight. So I need... Well, I'm just rolling damage at this point, because you're consenting to the spell. Alright. You're going to take 19 points of damage, Lek.
Fuck me! Wow, I don't know if I can math that.
15.
Jesus.
Yeah, 15 left.
Good. Good. Glad we're about to go on a dangerous trip.
And he said, I used that at the 3rd level. I hope it was enough to take care of it. If anything starts to turn black, come back here. But just be on the lookout for those signs that I gave you. If it does not get better, the only alternative might be an invasive operation.
Well, hopefully it won't come to that. I do thank you for taking the time to assist me. How much do I owe you?
That'll be 25 gold.
Good. All right. Thank you once again, sir. And
No. It is our policy that in cases like this, if you are to return to this town, you need to announce it to the guards. And if we see that you are endangering the township in any way, we'll have to report you to Sheriff Markham. Don't want Sheriff Markham to be on your bad side.
No, I can assume as much. Yes, of course, I will do so. And thank you. And here you are, sir. And here's I give him 15 gold and 25 gold. Sorry. And then I part ways, unless he was keeping me for something else.
Nope, he does not. So you start to make your way back.
Actually, I want to swing by the halberdasher really quick. Not the halberdasher. Why do I keep on doing that? The
Cobbler.
Thank you.
All right. So as you start to turn back and head in another direction, Silas, you see him turning around. I would like you to make another stealth check to see if you were spotted.
That's a straight 10, but I was planning on kind of coming out anyway.
Okay. So you just nonchalantly appear from out of the corner, and you see Lek returning from the House of the Morning Lord.
Feeling a bit religious, are we today, Lek?
Oh, Silas. Have you been here long?
Long enough. I need to discuss a few matters with you.
Ah, I see. All right. Well, if you don't mind walking with me, let us discuss.
Of course. Allow me to start off with, when were you going to tell us?
I wasn't.
I can respect that. But I'm not referring to your injuries.
Oh, what are you referring to then?
The voices.
Voices?
I peered inside your mind. I heard a voice that wasn't yours. So when were you going to tell us?
Well, as far as us goes, I had no intention of telling us. You, I considered telling if the opportunity arose and I needed an ally, but quite frankly, my jury was still out on that one.
I can understand your hesitation, but I assure you, I'm a better ally than I am an enemy.
Yes, this I wholeheartedly believe. But you must know the voices of my patron.
Interesting. And what does your patron want with us?
Well, he doesn't want really much from you, but okay, above table. I don't think this even exists, but is there a way I can do like a... Obviously, trust check is not a thing. But before I say anything more to Silas, I want to kind of get a feel for how much I can actually trust him. So what check would that be?
That would kind of boil down to an insight check to see if he's being forthcoming.
Forthcoming with his intentions of being my ally.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to insight that real quick.
And then, Silas, if you want to DM me which side of the fence you are, I can direct his roll in that way.
Well, that's a 10.
With that roll, it's going to be a little bit hard to really tell heads or tails. So it's really murky. It's murky to get a read from him, but you know that's kind of to be expected.
Okay.
And I sent the DM.
Got it.
Okay. So, anyways, yes, honestly, when I said from the beginning that I'm here to find magical items and objects, that is true. That is my purpose. I am gathering such things for my patron.
And what does your patron need with magical items?
Well, honestly, I don't know the true full extent of what he does with them. But, I mean, a man of your intelligence could probably certainly fill in the blanks on what a powerful entity would want with magical items and artifacts.
I worry that you might be a danger on all of us, but I want to trust your judgment here.
I appreciate that, although I will say, Silas, I find it quite ironic that that's your take on me. You're not exactly riding the straight and narrow yourself, you know.
I know what I am, but I don't quite know what you are, or at least what the voice in your head is.
Well, let's just say, my intentions for the party, which I'm sure are a lot of what you want to know right now, are I'm using them. Just like I think you are too. And so, they're useful to me. Therefore, I don't intend to have any harm come to them. That's where I stand on it. But I am using them. Know that wholeheartedly. That is the honest to goodness truth.
Then perhaps you and I can make an arrangement.
I'm listening.
We use them, but we work together. I will not be turned on by you. Otherwise, I'll just take you out right now while you're weak and vulnerable.
Alright. That's fair, that's fair. This upcoming trip to Netherreal is purely for the benefit of my patron. I have heard rumor of many good objects that are there, and I intend to find them for his benefit. But I will tell you one other thing that perhaps you could help me out with. And if you wanted further compensation from me, I'd certainly be open to negotiating. But do you notice the ring Adriana got?
I wasn't paying as much attention as I perhaps should have. I was distracted by the thought of love.
Well, believe it or not, I actually was not at all distracted by the thought of love, but it was a good distraction once my gawking became obvious. But it's a magical ring. Don't know if you knew that, but it is. From what I understand, a very powerful magical ring, for my patron would not point out such things unless they were of true power.
Silas is going to kind of look to his loot for a moment, but then return eye contact with Luck.
So, if in the near future it happens to disappear, don't be too surprised as to what happened to it.
Is that what happened with Zizek's belt?
Perhaps. Or perhaps there really is a treacherous person named Ted the Trader out there who used to know these things.
Well, if I'm to help you, I don't give a damn about what happens to the ring, but I do have a bit of a ground rule that needs to be set.
Of course, I expect nothing less.
Obviously, you and I do not turn on each other. That would be foolish for both of us.
Silas, I tell you, of all the people in this group who I have conned already and intend to con, you are not one of you. I recognized that from the get-go. You are not one of them. I'm sorry, that came out very oddly. You are not one of them. I respect you too much to ever attempt such a foolish errand on me.
Then hear me now. Eclipse is not to be harmed, and Adriana is better use alive than dead, at least to me. The jury is still out on Zizix, quite honestly. The Tin Man and the Savage are both useless. And Vega is wonderful company, but will likely slow us down.
Well, I won't lie. Few things gave me greater pleasure than conning old Zizix.
Well, if we can find a use for Zizix, wonderful. If not, then... well, they don't have to make it back on every trip, do they?
No, I suppose they don't.
Well, we should continue your errands.
Yes, I only have one left. See these boots I have? My master covets them. And I promised him that as long as I kept on finding alternative magical items, I could keep them. However, I want to have a backup plan just in case I have to give them up to him, so I need to purchase a pair of similar looking boots so that if I have to give him these ones, I will have something to wear. That is all.
May I accompany you?
But of course, I love your ability to be shrewd in matters of negotiation, and I would welcome your input.
Wonderful. Let's find you something nice.
Excellent.
And that's actually going to be a good spot to go ahead and end for the night. On that, we can resolve the shoe thing off stream. No big deal. Big enough city to find a good pair for like 2 gold.
Perfect.
So
Pay that up now.
2 silver and not anything more.
We can make persuasion checks offline for that. In any case, thanks everyone for sticking around. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. A lot came in the second half there. If you're new here and you want to come back, hit the follow button. We appreciate you guys sticking around and enjoying the show alongside me. Watching the party partake in their shenanigans and reveal some secrets along the way. No, RF Smith, I do not want to be famous. I will go ahead and ban you, good buddy.
Oh, I was gonna click that link. Don't ban him.
Banned! He's done. Get him out of here. But in any case, thanks everybody for sticking around. I hope you had fun. If you're new here, hit the follow button, and if you are so gracious to hit the subscribe button with your Prime Gaming token, that goes a long way to helping us create new art for when the eventual character death occurs, or partaking and purchasing new background art to use over and over again. In any case, thanks everyone for sticking around. I had a good time. I hope you did too. Subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.